Welcome to the Elevate Podcast, powered by Braden. This is your front row seat to the stories of local leaders, both nonprofit and for-profit, who are shaping our community. Every episode brings you leadership insights, lessons from challenges, and practical strategies you can use today. And yes, we'll keep it real and have some fun along the way. If you're ready to elevate your leadership, hit subscribe and follow us on LinkedIn for updates and behind-the-scenes content. Now, let's dive in. Hey everybody, Jason Olm here with another episode of the Elevate Powered by Braden podcast. And as you can tell from behind me, we're not in the studio at Fisher's. We're on location. I'm with a new friend up here in the Chicagoland area. But Nick, welcome to the show. And where are we?
Thank you. So we're in Bloomingdale, Illinois, which is our headquarters here in the U.S.
Awesome. Bloomingdale. And Nick, which company are you with?
CorePack.
CorePack. Excited to hear about that journey. I know you're the founder and CEO, correct? Right? So it'd be great to hear the story of how CorePack got started. But that's where you are today. Let's go back to your genesis. Where are you from originally?
Actually, I grew up in Bloomingdale.
This is hometown?
Yes.
I don't think I remember that for the first time we talked. Okay, so not too far from home. Grew up here. High school here in town as well? Okay. So which high school?
Lake Park.
Lake Park. All right. So during your high school days, what was a young Nick doing?
Probably things I shouldn't have been doing. Yeah.
But doing schoolwork, sports activities, any of that kind of stuff?
Yeah. I played football when I was freshman, sophomore, and then wanted to work.
Okay.
Actually worked at Best Buy down the street for a couple of years. Probably what got me into tech.
No kidding. So was it on Geek Squad or just out on the floor?
Just in the like audio video department.
Okay. Gotcha.
Car stereos.
Okay, gotcha. As long as you weren't stealing them, you were installing them. That was probably okay.
Right.
All right, that's good. So on the right track there. So as you're finishing up high school and you're thinking about what's going to come next, you're working in high school, where do you go? Are you going to go to school? Are you going to go to work? What happens next?
I knew I wanted to go to school. I didn't really know what I wanted to do in high school, but I always was leaning towards the like math and science side.
Okay.
My stepfather was a big influence on me, and he was an industrial engineer.
Okay.
And so kind of thought about mechanical engineering. And a lot of my best friends did not go to school. One of them was an electrician. 3 of them went into the Marine Corps. Just different places. So
sure.
I wanted to go to college. I didn't really know where. Was potentially going to go to Northern Illinois, but then I visited Michigan State and I just fell in love with it.
So Northern Illinois is a choice. Michigan State, great school, by the way. But what was the draw to Michigan State?
I love the like larger atmosphere, the sports, football, basketball.
Okay.
It's exciting to see your team on TV all the time.
Sure. It's a lot of fun there. Okay, so Michigan State, what were you studying there?
So I went in as kind of undeclared. I think the plan was to be a mechanical engineer. And then I went to like an intro to engineering course.
Okay.
And to expose me to electrical and civil and mechanical. And they actually kind of dissuaded me to not want to be an engineer a little bit.
So help me understand that part. So the idea was you come in, we're going to give you an intro overview of all these different areas. It wasn't that you saw this and said, I don't think this is for me. They were maybe talking into you like, maybe this isn't for you.
They were just speaking about just the intricacies and the nuances and the detail and sitting in front of a computer all day and designing something that's really small. At least on the electrical and maybe mechanical side. And I just thought it was just too much computer work, too much calculus.
Yeah.
Just didn't excite me that much.
Okay. So you come out of that, where do you think you're going to pivot to?
So I talked to my counselor at the time, freshman year, and they told me about packaging engineering, which Michigan State's known to be the best school in the country for. So they told me that it's a really good blend of engineering and business. since my father, my stepfather was a business owner and entrepreneur himself, and also an engineer, I just thought that was a good match for what I was looking for.
I guess it's one of those things that I hadn't heard much about. So as you're studying that in school, what's that look like? It's a good business degree, also with an engineering degree. What's that kind of a well-rounded?
Yeah, I mean, I took some of the math and science classes like calculus, physics, microbiology, organic chemistry,
Okay,
but not like, levels 2, 3, and 4.
gotcha.
Also took macroeconomics, marketing, I think advertising. So took those classes, and then you take the packaging core classes, which are around design, product specifications, testing.
Okay. So as you finish up your degree and you think about what's going to come next, what's that? Are you thinking you're going to go directly? Are you getting into sales? Are you getting into engineering side of that? What's that look like for you coming out of college?
So I did 2 internships, and normally in the packaging school you do a 6-month internship, so you take off a semester.
Oh, no kidding.
And so you really get like a good feel for what like working life is like. The first one, I was more of a consultant. I was reviewing specifications, kind of coming up with standard operating procedures for how to pick the packaging they were going to use for new product launches. It was for a vinyl siding manufacturer, who's now Certainty.
Oh, no kidding. Yeah.
That was fun, but on that internship, I was also working with a distributor, and I really liked the fact that I could talk to one person about stretch film and strapping and machinery and the different parts of how that company could help us. And I really enjoyed it, and I felt I gravitated to more being on the other side of the table.
So you like the idea that distribution side, it's somebody with a well-rounded background and gravitated towards that. So that was one internship. What was the other internship?
The other internship was with Dark Container, who I think now owned by Solo, or maybe Fast First, but very boring. They pack out foam cups. And so they have different sizes and containers and also like plastic takeout containers.
Yeah.
And it was just like looking at the nesting patterns and what the box size should be.
Yeah.
Sitting at a desk, not
Not too exciting.
no.
Way more behind a computer than maybe you wanted to be at that point.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. So you do those 2 internships. You finish up with school. You've had those 2 experiences. Where do you go next?
So I graduated in December of 01.
Okay.
So 3 months after 9/11.
No kidding.
And I actually started applying to jobs in August because I was excited to just get after it.
Sure.
And I applied to a lot of sales positions, and everybody was telling me, you need sales experience before we hire you in sales. And I'm like, well, how am I going to get sales experience without a job?
Yeah, right.
So I ended up receiving an offer from a good packaging distribution company, but they were headquartered in Ann Arbor.
Oh, no kidding. Okay.
And they were headquartered in Kalamazoo, but they wanted me to cover the Ann Arbor territory.
All right.
Going to Michigan State, Ann Arbor is like,
that's the dark side of town. You can't go over there.
exactly.
That's Big Blue, right?
So yeah. So even though it was the kind of job that I wanted, I took a pass on it at the last minute because I really wanted to move back to Chicago.
So you liked being in school up in Lansing, but ultimately you didn't think that Michigan was going to be the place you wanted to kind of put roots down.
Right.
Okay. So you come back home. So now you're here. It's just after 9/11, right?
Yeah.
And so looking for a sales job, where you end up?
So I was offered a position at CDW,
Okay.
Which has a great sales training program. But again, it was inside sales, and I think it was going to be in Vernon Hills, which is far. Ultimately, I decided to wait out a little bit longer because I had a feeling that it would be hard to get back into packaging if I went a different route. So at the time, the only company that was really growing and hiring was Uline.
So they're growing, and so you get a job there. You don't take the job at CPW, and you end up at Uline. What's the role look like there?
I was an account executive, really more of a territory manager.
Okay.
They had assigned me, a geographic area in the Chicagoland area, but I had 3,000 accounts under my name.
Holy cow!
Yeah.
So you had 3,000 accounts under your name. What are you responsible for at that point? Are you upselling existing clients? Are you working with repeat clients? What's that look like?
It's mostly both.
Okay.
Yeah, not a ton of prospecting or cold calling. I visited 7 customers a day, 3 days a week.
No kidding.
Yeah.
How did you like it?
I enjoyed the variety.
Okay.
Yeah, I got to see so many different types of companies.
Yeah.
Because I had so many accounts, there wasn't a lot of time to spend with any one particular customer.
So difficult to go deep with your relationship is pretty wide, right? So now you're having conversations, you're meeting 21 clients a week, whatever that was. But with 3,000 clients, you're not getting back to people very often. With Uline's product set, I'm not as familiar with Uline. Is it a pretty wide product set? Like, I remember, right? So did you enjoy having that large kind of product mindset? Because you're not a distributor at this point, but you're kind of one that understands all of these things for talking to clients. Was that something that really interested you there?
Yeah, that part of it was fun. Basically, everybody really liked working with Uline because their service is very good, very reliable.
Yeah.
But there was always like the hesitation because they're also a higher price point. People are, paying for that. So it was fun to do some adjusting and pricing and kind of capture more business and grow the accounts. What was not fun about it was not only could I not spend a lot of time with any one customer, but there was no custom solutions. So it was just whatever's in the catalog. That's what you say.
If it's an A, it's an A, but you can't mix an A and a B.
Right.
Those types of things. All right. So not much creativity in that, but this is your first sales role. How long were you there?
About a year.
Okay. And so from there, as you're kind of finishing up, you're thinking about what's going to come next. Are you going to stay in sales? Or are you thinking?
Yeah. I enjoyed sales. I enjoyed working with people and providing solutions. I just wanted to provide better solutions. And that sometimes entails custom boxes or tools, automation, being able to help with supply chain. There's just a lot of other things that can be done to help a company.
Gotcha. So I'm curious, we know that you start CorePack, right? And we know we're not there yet in your journey, but at some point, are you beginning to formulate in your mind at some point here that you may want to go do this on your own? Are you thinking about that young in your career?
I don't think that young. I was just focused on growing my business, my book of business.
Yep.
In distribution, in smaller distribution, it's very much like you're running your own business anyway. Mm-hmm. You're kind of using the company as like a bank and a warehouse. But you're making decisions on pricing, purchasing, sourcing.
Yep.
Proposals.
So you're learning a lot of stuff that's going to help you later in your career. The reason I asked that question about, are you starting to think about that, was the creativity. Like you had said with Uline, if you want an A, you get an A. If you get a B, you get a B, but you can't do anything custom. And at a young age, you're already kind of thinking, hey, if we could do something special, we could maybe do something different. So after that year at Uline, where do you go?
So I went to a small distributor local to the Chicagoland area called CS Packaging.
So in that situation there, is that starting to spark in your mind the ability to go out and create different opportunities for clients and to be able to really meet their needs in a specialized way?
Yeah.
Okay. So that's interesting. So I'm curious, as you think about, when did you start CorePack? When was the
2015?
2015. So what year are you here now in your career journey?
Be 2003.
Took it 2003. Okay. All right. So as you're continuing to progress, I'm curious, as you walk through your journey, Like where some of these things, because you can start to see some things building. Now you've got autonomy, right? In this role, you're working with a smaller firm. You've got the ability to do some custom things. It's starting to kind of match a little bit what you're looking for. So as you continue forward, you continue at sales.
Yes.
Okay.
Yep. And then went on to be a VP of sales for the company. Recruited and trained and coached a few more people.
Is this the first time you'd been kind of a people manager at that point? How did you like that? What was that first experience being a people manager?
I like it. It's fun to see people grow.
Yeah.
They come in green and you teach them ways to think. And that's the biggest thing is if you think about things in a different light, instead of just thinking about these like tasks, a lot of the answers become similar.
Okay. So now you've got people that you're working with today that you're beginning to shepherd for the first time. You're running kind of your own, like you said, using as a bank and a warehouse, and you can be kind of autonomous in your thinking. So now you're managing people, you're selling, you're basically running your own business at this point within the organization. Where's the story go?
So what I was missing is the inside support. It was basically me, engineering support, data analytics, business intelligence, whatever it may be. It was on me and the sales reps. And that's really common for this industry.
So it's common for a rep to be a jack of all trades, right?
Yes.
But then that's difficult because you can't necessarily maybe specialize in what you do well. You got to do all this back office, which slows you down on the front end, which then just slows down your growth, right?
Yeah, it's not scalable.
Sure.
It's not scalable, and there's not really like an end in sight.
Yeah.
You just have to constantly keep your pipeline filled and at maximize your time.
Yeah. Yeah. It's interesting because we know obviously that you started your own business. So it's really terrific to kind of hear your story build as you're collecting all of these skills, as you kind of go through. So as you're going through there, eventually, where do you end up before you end up coming to start CorePack? What's in between now and then?
I was with the same company for almost 13 years.
Okay.
It was, it was probably 4 or 5 years before I started CorePack. I started thinking about it, just about what would it look like if I could build a company that's more engineering focused, hire packaging engineers, really help have inside people that are dedicated to a certain craft, and have salespeople be able to sell and provide solutions to customers. But I knew that I'm kind of a go big or go home kind of guy. And I knew that it was going to be like a very big undertaking.
Okay.
I was just starting a family. And so there's a lot of reasons not to do it.
So you're just starting a family. So married, just starting a family. How many kids?
2.
2 kids. All right. So you're just starting a family. You're beginning to formulate the thoughts about becoming an entrepreneur. The people closest to you, are they saying, hey, this is a crazy time to do this? Or are they, jumping in with you to say, let's go for it? What did that look like for you?
I don't think anyone realized that, my go big mentality. So they didn't think it was as big of a deal as it was.
So it was in their mind. I'm always curious about this part of the story because you're starting to talk about these things, but a lot of folks are like, okay, yeah, that's really nice. But they didn't realize you were kind of speaking a plan into place, and you were already going down this path. Okay. So 2015 is when you started CorePack. What was when you throw your hat out there and say, okay, I'm going to start this thing. What was your original goal? Like I said, go big. What did that mean to you when you started this in 2015?
So for me to provide all those resources to our customers and to our sales reps and be able to provide solutions, you need the revenue, you need the profit, you need the revenue, you need to keep growing the business. So when this wasn't really about me trying to just be my own boss and making money, it was to me it was building a company that can scale to hundreds of millions of dollars, and maybe get to $1 billion.
No kidding. So when you fucking go big, you're going big.
Yeah.
And that's a dream big kind of thing. All right. So you get started in 2015. So CorePack, tell me about CorePack. What do you guys do? What makes you a bit unique in this space?
Sure.
On that journey of growth, tell me about the business.
So we provide end-to-end solutions for packaging. And that's all things having to do with protecting your product, advertising your product, getting your product to your distribution to your customer, being more efficient with your packaging. So using automation to reduce overhead and have more consistency.
Okay.
So it's a little bit of everything, but our three uniques are speed, technology, and trust.
Speed, technology, and trust. Okay, so let's define clients first. So could clients be anywhere in the United States, or we're at a client? Okay, so anywhere in the U.S.
We do mostly with manufacturing,
Okay.
some e-commerce, and so it tends to be more high volume. A lot of food and beverage customers,
Okay.
but we also we do a lot of business with furniture and appliance companies.
Okay.
So some electronics, and really, it's a lot of our customers are trying to get to the next level themselves.
So they're looking to scale up as well. And you mentioned the three pillars again: speed, technology, and was it trust? Right. So let's talk speed. What's that mean in your business? What's speed mean?
It's about responsiveness,
Okay.
and being able to make decisions and hit answers to customers quicker.
Well, like you said, your clients are tending to look to scale up as well. They need to move quickly, right? So if you can match their pace, that's good. Technology in this business, talk a little bit about what technology means and how is that helping you guys and helping the clients?
It helps us internally quite a bit with our ERP system. So we've put a lot of things in place to monitor exceptions, monitor events, ping us with notifications about different things if something's being late or a shipment didn't go out in full. And it allows us to give answers to our customers quicker. It also, and probably more importantly, it allows us to only focus on the things that we need to and not be looking at every single open order that we have. And that allows us to be more proactive.
Okay.
So the system, if everything's in place, which is 90% of the time, you only have to work on that 10% that's maybe it's an expedited order, or maybe someone forgot to get something in time, or some artwork didn't get improved in time. And now we're like under the gun to turn something around.
Some artwork didn't get improved. Okay. So talk to me. I guess I didn't consider artwork. Talk to me more about that. What's that mean?
So we do a lot of retail packaging.
Oh, no kidding.
Yeah.
I didn't think about that. Okay. So you're actually doing, okay. And you're doing that stuff in house?
No. So most of it's outsourced.
Okay. So artwork is being done somewhere, which you're working with those folks. I didn't think about that. And the last pillar is trust. Of course, that kind of, stands for itself, right? You've got to do what you're going to do. What's that mean in the business with your culture?
Yeah. And it's not just saying what you're going to, doing what you're saying, what you're going to do. It's also about providing unsolicited advice.
Oh,
and sometimes, we're not afraid to tell someone that they're doing something right or wrong. I've told customers before that if you're, working with this company and you're buying these products and you're happy with them, sounds like a good thing to meet.
Yeah.
Keep us in mind if you need something or something goes wrong.
Yeah.
But I'm also, not afraid to say, you guys are doing this all wrong. You're spending too much money here. You're using too much of your warehouse space to hold a bunch of packaging that we take off your floor. You should be, automating this, whatever it may be. And also, one of the big things that we do proactively is look for cost savings. And instead of waiting till they come to us and saying, hey, I need you guys to reduce pricing, we're looking at things and offering up those ideas quarterly.
Yep.
And so that helps build the trust.
So, of course it does, right? I mean, so there's a lot to unpack in there, by the way. So for leaders and future readers listening, this is an interesting thing to talk about. I want to dig into a little bit more. But the first thing we talked about trust. It's not just saying and doing what you're going to do. You mentioned unsolicited advice. The first part of that, though, by the way, I think is brilliant. When you're talking to a prospect and they give you information, you're gathering data, as you're listening, if they're doing the right things and they're being taken care of, the organization they're working with is upstanding and those things, hey, unless something goes wrong, why make that change, right? Upsetting their apple cart makes it hard on them. That's one of the best things to find out. Now, it's not great for the business today, but it could be in the future if they ever have an issue, right? The other part of that is when somebody is maybe going down a path that doesn't make sense. You've got a lot of experience. Your business has a lot of experience. You can share that experience with them. And I always think you're being very genuine in that, right? This is a concern for your organization based on my knowledge. Whether they act on it, right, or don't is up to them, right? That's their choice. But I love that idea of trust. But then the last piece, I think, is a golden piece of advice. You have clients that have been long-term clients, and they're billing $1,000 a month today, and you found a way to take it down to $960. Instead of them asking, somebody's going to pick up the phone and call them and say, hey, by the way, we like you, we trust you, we want to continue business, and your bill's not going to be $960. Right. That's terrific. So I'm imagining like the business, you've had a lot of repeat clients if you continue to, operate in that manner.
Right.
That's awesome. Okay, so growth of the organization, as you've seen, because you started back in this, obviously in college, now we're at 2026. You talked about technology, doing some things from a speed perspective in ERP. What's evolving in tech in your space, just in general? And maybe it's hard to say where things are gonna go, or if you had a magic 8 ball saying this is where tech might lead us to, what's that look like? What do you think?
It is hard to say where it's leading us to. The thing that pushed me into tech was when I was just a rep, because, like I said, I didn't have that inside support. I had someone that would help me like just process an order, but when it came to like reviewing people's pricing and doing some analysis on it and reviewing those like cost reduction opportunities, that was all on me. So time was very precious.
Gotcha.
And it's what forced me to teach myself Excel.
Right.
Excel is a tool to make things faster and easier, not to like just put numbers into it, right? So building templates that can do some analysis, building calculators that I can use or to provide to our customers so that they can calculate how much it would, how many items of theirs it will take to fill up a truck to maximize their freight cost.
Yep.
So for me, it's always about doing more with less, and even further automating that mundane stuff, so that you can look deeper inside the business and look to see how you can help them.
Yeah.
Because AI it's great, but it's only as good as you allow it to be or you help it to be. So if you don't really understand your customer, then what are you going to tell AI to have it help you with?
Yeah.
You have to know the inputs.
You do. And it's actually great you went down that path. We talk, everybody says AI on the show. I think we've done a whole bunch of episodes. Everybody says AI when we talk about technology. But what's interesting is, I think, and you and I are cut from the same cloth. I did the same thing with Excel early on, building a tool to be able to price out our phone service, put a macro in, click, run it. Here's your price, right? You do it quickly. And so now with AI, and I leveraged Excel just like you did in the old days so that I could have more time in front of clients to build trust, to build relationships, and to do those things. I think if we can leverage AI to do that, if AI could do things in the background that could run 90% of the way that a human could check to make sure that it's the way that I want it from my business perspective. But if they get 4 hours, 8 hours, 10 hours back a week to do human things, to think about the business, to interact with clients, to make those calls to your clients and say, hey, we're saving you money, then I think that's a huge win. And it's great that, like you said, your ERP system allows you guys to make decisions faster. I think as you continue to evolve, you'll continue, because you're focused on building your business with your clients and building those relationships. I think you're going to continue down that path and just have more of those conversations. And so technology, I think, it's going to help a lot of people, but I just like your mindset on it. If you don't understand your client, how can you put something into AI to have it help you if you don't understand from the beginning? Right. That's great inputs. And so as we think about your clients, we also think about your business, your organization. You mentioned your family, a couple of kids. We talk a little bit about community. So when you think about community, what's that mean to you?
I think it's just the people that are with you in and out every day or on the weekends.
Yeah.
It's the family and friends that you associate with.
Yeah. So talk a little bit about family. 2 kids, what ages?
My son is about to be 17 and my daughter will be 15.
Okay. So one driver and one learning to drive.
Mm-hmm.
So that's always those things. So are they both in high school?
Yes.
Okay. Gotcha. All right. Did they happen to go to the same high school you went to?
No.
Okay. I was going to say, are you in the same town you grew up in?
No, we live in St. Charles, which is 20 minutes west of here.
Okay. So pretty close though. Mm-hmm. And so, okay. All right. So community is close by, and obviously what's the drive to the office for you?
It's like 22 minutes.
Oh, in Chicago time, that's like next door.
Yes.
That's perfect. All right. So that's, you got a great setup here. So that's awesome. So, well, before we finish up, thank you, right, for sharing your story. It's great to hear, going to Michigan State, enjoying it there, making a change, getting into something. And it's interesting that somebody said, hey, you might think about this packaging. It's got a little bit more business into it. And then just hearing your career journey, you can hear each step, knowing where you are today as a business owner, business leader. You could hear the skills being learned. At this point, you start managing people and you enjoyed that. At this point, you started doing this. Some of the creativity, you're seeing that spill into what you've done here at CorePack. And so, like you said, dream big, 100 million to $1 billion. And I hope you hit $1 billion. That way it's awesome, right? And so if you do, that'd be great. I'm going to say, I know that guy. And so, but before we finish, if you're not working, what do you do for fun?
Work is a lot, but I love spending time with family. Love traveling together. It's like the one time I get them off their phones, like or Snapchat or whatever. And I like golfing. I love golfing. I'm a horrible golfer, but just being, as much as I love technology and business, getting away from it for a few hours is nice. And it doesn't even matter like what score I get, or I kind of lost less hope on that a long time ago. But yeah, I just enjoy being with people that that care about each other, and we have a lot of amazing people here at CorePack that just they work hard for each other, and they work hard for the company and what we believe in.
Yeah,
and and that's why, like, even if I'm working 60 hours a week, it doesn't feel like that. The time goes by.
A day goes by in a minute here. Yeah. I think when you're passionate about something, it feels a lot different. It's not necessarily stressful, right? Work is stressful. A lot of passion. And in some cases, it sounds like you have a lot of passion for the business. I don't ask this question often, but now you're 11 years in to being a founder and a CEO of an organization. If somebody was out there thinking about going down the journey and saying, hey, I'm going to throw my hat in the ring, I'm going to go hang a shingle and go do something to be an entrepreneur, what word of encouragement might you share with those folks?
One, you have to know what you're getting into. There's a lot of people, I'd say the majority of people will think that an entrepreneur is like you're your own boss. It's all like roses. You're making a ton of money. You could do whatever you want. That probably couldn't be farther from the truth, at least, starting out. Some people excel faster than others, obviously, but especially when you want to keep reinvesting, because you really never get to enjoy the fruits of your labor. You're just spending it back into the company. But it is very rewarding, especially when you're seeing people develop. There's nothing that I love more than a customer showing us gratitude. We especially work with a lot of emerging brands, and I don't mean like from their basement, but I mean that, companies that in local grocery stores, or maybe a Whole Foods, and now they're getting into Target and Costco, Walmart.
Yeah.
That is like so exciting to be able to support that growth. It energizes us. It energizes our employees, and it's just it's rewarding. So you have to love what you're doing, because the effort and the work ethic that's needed is it's hard to explain.
Yeah.
There's highs and lows, but I would say don't be afraid of it. You just have to want it.
Yeah, it's up to want it. Great advice. I appreciate it, Nick. Thank you. Great to meet you. Continued success. Like I said, hope to make it to $1 billion, my friend.
Thank you.